Hey guys, welcome back to the episode. This is a continuation of our last episode, so if you haven't already, go back and check that one out, because otherwise this won't make any sense. Actually, probably won't make sense anyway. Enjoy!
Hey, Justin.
Hey.
You say you got a quick
friend.
one, right?
It's relatively quick.
Oh, Jesus.
I wanted to input a little bit more time into this, but I
want to
am
hear Lonnie's.
going to rush the format, so...
Okay. Well, why don't you go ahead and rush the format? Let's hear it.
I wanted to make this a little bit more creative, but I spent a lot of time on the movie It. So I want to talk about some inventions.
Ooh, inventions.
Yeah, I got like a bunch of them. Well, like 20.
It's going to be quick. I got a bunch of them.
Yeah. So inventions are important, right?
Some can be. Some can be
Some are just
not
stupid.
great. Yeah.
Like
the shake weight.
TikTok. Well, shake weight. Dynamic inertia?
You've probably never gotten, have you ever gotten a hand job from a girl that uses a shake weight?
Or a guy?
What's a hand job?
Neither have I. No.
So inventions, they're important because they have the potential to change the world and make life easier. They can help solve problems, improve efficiency, and increase productivity. Inventions can also lead to new discoveries and innovations, which can have the positive impact on society and the economy.
And they can suck you dry.
For example,
Suck you dry.
the steam engine. We got the steam engine. It's one of the most important inventions in history because it led to the Industrial Revolution and transformed the way we live. So we got cars, we got other sort of machines.
Other things that run.
Transformers. No.
The
no,
DeLorean.
Yes. Actually, that is going to be, well, it might have been. No, we'll see. I want to introduce you guys to a few of these contributions. They may not contribute too much. But so what's some of the bad things that might happen at your job?
Customers.
Customers? Poopy diaper?
Might not catch any fish that day.
Oh, okay. What's the worst thing that can happen at your job?
I
Customer.
could drown.
Oh, that's, ooh. I'm going to list off a few of these. Let me do like maybe 5 names here and then see if you recognize any of these. Mary Curry, Valerian Abagovsky, William Bullock, Karel Susik, Henry Winstanley. Any of these sound familiar?
Mary Curry, yeah.
Yep. Cast of The Office.
No.
Okay.
Okay. So
Mary Curry, she was an inventor.
how did you know?
She was the voice of the Cubs.
That's Harry Curry.
My name is Mary Curry.
My name is Mary Curry.
She was a scientist.
Win.
She was the scientist who discovered 2 new elements, polonium and radium, and was the first woman to win a Nobel Prize.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for her.
The only one.
Good
Get
for
back in
her.
the kitchen and stop inventing things that aren't meals.
Me
I don't know what happened.
But like back in
Omelet.
1934, she died of aplastic anemia, a blood disorder that was likely caused by her prolonged exposure to radiation
Exposure to radiation.
while working with radioactive materials.
That
Sucks for
that's
her.
detrimental to her career.
Next name, Valeriana Abagovsky.
Was she
He's
a,
really good at names.
was she a Russian dancer?
This was a Soviet engineer who invented a high-speed rail car that used an aircraft engine to propel it.
You can call my vehicle.
Nice.
But in 1921, while testing a prototype of his invention, Abagovsky died in a train derailment that was caused by defects in the track.
So these are shitty inventors.
So what year was that?
1920 something.
1921.
So his great
1921.
his great grandkids
21.
must be in charge of all the
Stuff right now.
trains right now.
In the U.S., this is a Soviet guy.
Well, things have changed.
William Bullock, who was an American inventor who credited with developing the first rotary printing press in 1867 while adjusting a belt on his invention. Guess what happened?
He lost his arm.
His foot became caught in the machinery
Damn it, I was close.
and was crushed. He died several days later from his injuries. Do you guys get the theme that I'm going with
These
here?
are all shitty inventors.
No, they're good inventions,
They
but
got killed by their own
people who
invention?
got killed by their own inventions. Yes.
I didn't even hear the first one because I was
So,
peeing, but I already
the
know what's
number
happening.
one inventor who got killed by his inventions. Jesus Christ.
Ouch.
Am I wrong?
I don't know if you're right about that. I think there might have been a Jesus Christ, but I think a lot of people kind of flavored the story. I think Jesus was invented by a chick who cheated on her husband. And
Christianity, the biggest out of control affair story ever.
And how do you explain the musical Jesus Christ Superstar?
Yeah.
Based on true
What he
events?
said.
anti-Jesus Christ Superstore was much better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could suck his own dick.
With Ted.
He got his ribs removed.
Carol Susek. She was a Canadian inventor and stuntman who invented a self-cleaning plastic
Stunt
barrel
woman.
Person.
that could be
Stunt person.
used to safely go over Niagara Falls. In 1984, Susek successfully completed the stunt,
Whose stroke are you having?
but died the following year while attempting to recreate a feat at the Houston Astrodome. Susek's barrel failed to deploy properly and suffered fatal injuries in the resulting fall. That sucks. Poor you. Henry Winstanley,
Henry Winkler?
Winstonly.
English engineer who is best known for building the first Eddystone lighthouse off the coast of Cornwall. In 1703, while inspecting the lighthouse during a severe storm, Winstanley and 5 other men were swept away by the wave and drowned. Not a good use for a lighthouse.
They wave by.
Go!
That's what the movie Lighthouse is about. And fucking whales.
Squids.
Was it Henry? Who
Squids.
played Henry?
Robert Pattinson.
Ah,
William Dafoe and
Green
Robert
Goblin.
Pattinson.
Green Goblin?
Batman and the Green Goblin.
William Nelson, an American inventor who developed the first refrigerated truck in 1912. While demonstrating his invention to potential investors, he climbed into the truck's refrigeration unit to show that it was safe for humans to enter. But he became trapped inside and suffocated. Sucks to be you. It kind of sucks. You remember that one guy who is...
No.
I'm slightly reminded of this. Who was trying to... I think this is one of the more common stories. He was trying to show at this skyscraper that the windows are kind of impenetrable. And he would like run and jump against the glass. And then one time during a tour, the glass gave out and he just...
I don't
Did you
remember
tell
that.
me about this or did I watch a video on
Hell of
that?
a tour.
This is probably something. I remember seeing something very similar to this, like 1,000 Ways to
man,
Die
yeah,
or so.
this-
Can you imagine the people on the tour? They're just
Yeah.
like, this must be part of the show.
Should we clap? Or?
Yeah. It's like, yeah. And he was like, this is entirely impenetrable. And he did this hundreds
Hero.
of times. Like he was very proud of this. But it's like, oh, he didn't invent it.
What
but
was his last words?
Alexander Bogdanov,
Gesundheit.
a Russian physician and philosopher who was best known for his work in the field of blood transfusion. In 1928, Bogdanov died as a result of an experiment in which he attempted to transfuse himself with the blood of a student who had tuberculosis. No bueno.
Did he know the kid had tuberculosis?
He did afterwards.
Oh, fuck.
Thomas Andrews, a British shipbuilder who designed the RMS Titanic.
Nice.
We all know what happened with
Good on
this.
him.
In
What'd he
1912,
do?
Nothing went wrong.
In 1912, Andrews was on board the Titanic during his maiden voyage when the ship struck an iceberg and sank. He died in the disaster.
That's why they got the expression
choice,
going
according
down
to
with
the
the
movie.
ship.
Oopsie doodles.
There's video of it too.
Yeah, the documentary Titanic.
Yeah.
I'm king of the world.
I put the coat on.
I put the coat on her.
Otto Lilienthal, a German engineer and inventor who was credited for developing the first successful glider. Everything went splendid. Until 1896, Lilienthal died from the injury sustained in a glider crash.
God damn it.
What the fuck was that?
I was there when your father died. He was stabbed by his own glider.
Donald Campbell, a British speed recovery breaker who set numerous land and water speed records in 1967 while attempting to set a new water speed record on Lake Coniston in England. His boat, Bluebird K7, flipped and crashed over 300 miles per hour, killing him instantly. It's not a shame. Die and do what you love.
What was his last words?
Oh no, you hit water hard enough, it's harder than cement.
Thank you.
So you hit that water hard enough, you just hear.
Let's talk about Horace Lawson Hunley,
Let's do.
a Confederate engineer who designed and built the H.L. Hunley,
Fuck him.
the first submarine to sink an enemy ship in combat. But in 1863, during a test run of the submarine, him and 7 crew members died when the vessel sank.
It's a submarine. It's supposed to sink.
Yeah, well, no, it's supposed to just be underwater.
It's a shitty submarine if it don't sink. It's
forgot
just a ship then.
They forgot to close the hatch.
Michael Dacker, and a British
You guys ever seen
inventor.
Down Periscope?
Oh, yeah.
Love that movie.
A British inventor who developed an air scooter, a personal flying machine, in 2009. While testing a prototype of the air scooter, Dacker crashed and died. I remember seeing this one, I believe.
I feel like this is all a setup. Like he's gonna name all these people that died doing what they did, and then the last one's gonna be some inventor, and it's like he died from pneumonia or something. It's not gonna even.
Oh,
We'll see.
Louis Slotin, a Canadian physicist who was part of the Manhattan Project, which developed the first atomic bomb in 1946, while performing an experiment on this critically of the plutonium sphere. Slotin accidentally caused a nuclear reaction that exposed him and 6 other researchers to deadly levels of radiation. Slotin died from radiation poison 9 days later. Not Mr. or Dr. of Manhattan.
I thought the Manhattan Project was the MK Ultra.
We'll say yeah. Was that in 1946?
Around there.
He was part of the Manhattan Project, but I don't know if this was talking about the Manhattan Project. It might have been because it's dealing with plutonium. Francis Edgar Stanley, an American inventor and businessman who co-founded the Stanley Motor Carriage Company in 1918. While driving one of his company's team-powered cars, Stanley crashed and died from his injuries. That one was kind of like a burn or whatever. Franz Rechelt, an Austrian tailor who invented prototype of a parachute. This seems like a fun way to go. You already know. He tried to use a parachute. He died in 1912, jumped from the Eiffel Tower wearing his invention. The suit failed to deploy properly, and he fell to his death.
How many stories is the Empire State Building?
All of them.
No, for real though. Does anybody know?
0 right now.
What? It's still up.
Oh, is it?
The Empire State Building?
Oh, yeah.
The Empire State Building.
Terrorists haven't got to that yet.
Not yet. It's a little further from the 9/11.
My
site.
bad.
It's 102.
Thomas Migley Jr., an American chemist who is known for his work on developing leaded gasoline and chlorofluorocarbones. Nope, not going to say that. CFCs. In 1944, Migley accidentally inhaled a lethal dose of refrigerant that he had developed, which caused him to lose consciousness and died from asphyxiation. William Nelson, not the Willie Nelson, an American inventor who developed a revolutionary new method for extracting oil from the ground. In 1891, testing his oil extraction device, the pressurized equipment exploded. Poor Willie Nelson. Do you got something?
No, I'm just waiting.
I got like 3 other one of these, but I kind of want to skip this. So I was kind of like inspired by this, by 2 things that I want to clear the air with, because you guys are very misled. Do you remember? These are my honorable mentions, but these are not people who were killed by their own inventions, but it's commonly thought that way. And I thought this I guess this is
Like
the first one.
mistakenly
Yes.
Like, so they really didn't die? Okay, go ahead.
The inventor, the French surgeon, inventor, physiologist, Antoine Louis, and German engineer Tobias Schmidt, who built a prototype of the guillotine. It was actually named after Joseph Ignace Guillotine, who passed a law that required all sentence of death to be carried out by means of machine. I thought his head was on the chopping block, but my findings could not confirm that. So somebody who kind of like made a law, named the guillotine or invented the guillotine or something like that.
Yeah.
It's commonly rumored that the person who created it was killed. Like one of the first people who used it. It's like you can't really test out well, you could. But why would you test it
Why
out?
would you use? Yeah, that's.
You're gonna check
I feel like
the
you
box.
use
What
dummies.
watermelons are for.
Yeah.
And one of the coolest ones, I think you might know this one. Like I think Nero was one of the ones who used this. The Parallaus, I can't even say it. Parallaus brazen bull, the torture device. It was invented in the ancient Greek craftsmen, or in the ancient Greek times.
Oh, is that the fire?
Yes. So there was this bull that was made out of bronze and had a door on one side, and they could open it and place a victim inside. And once the door was closed, there was a fire set underneath it, so it would heat up slowly until you're kind of burning. It's like a heating metal until it becomes like red hot. So the victim inside would be slowly roasted to death, and their screams could be heard through the bull's nostrils.
That's a
which
great franchise.
were designed.
It's like a waffle maker. Like you're the waffle.
And the nose kind of amplifies the sound of their screams. So it's like,
And when you turn to liquid, do you drip out the
Yeah, it's like the bull.
penis.
But that they have a penis, and you drip out the penis.
There was a story that he was killed by his own invention, the Parallaus. According to legend, he presented the brazen bull to the ruler of the city-state of Agrigentum in Sicily, who was impressed by the invention but horrified by its brutality. The ruler then ordered Paralyus to be the first to be tested in the device to see if it worked properly, and he was placed inside, roasted to death, and his screams were heard through the bull's nostrils, whatever, as intended. However, it is worth noting that the story is most likely a myth, and there is no historical evidence to support it. The brazen bull was certainly used as a torture device, but there's no record of Paralyus being killed in his own invention. The story may have been invented to add a dramatic element to the device's history as a cautionary tale about the dangers of creating devices such extreme brutality. Part of my inspiration for this topic as well is kind of when I was in Germany, I went to the Museum of Torture.
Yeah.
It's in Rothenburg, Germany, or it's like the medieval crime museum. And all of these like shame masks and there's like this one contraption where it's kind of a thing that kind of goes up to the point and you sit somebody on top of it with weights on their feet and then the weight kind of slowly like rips them in two.
Oh, I feel like
Nice.
so good.
It really hits the spot.
But I mean, like saw trap.
Back in the day, we used to use these sorts of things to, shame people. There was like all these little shame masks and cones and stuff. I remember seeing one that was like shaped like dicks and stuff like that. It's like, of course
You
I'm not
would
going to
remember that one.
I'm not going to commit a crime because if this is going to be the result of what happens, like
Gotta
this
wear the dick
embarrassment,
mask.
yeah. Get out the dick mask.
Here comes Dick Face.
The dick cage.
Here comes the Dick Face.
Some people would probably break the laws on purpose with those. I've been a bad boy.
I mean,
Here comes Sir Dick Nose.
You did a bad.
but it was a lot of like embarrassing things that they would just lock. It's pretty much
Like a chastity
belt thing, yeah. But for your face. But you can still use it for other people's.
It's
sexual
actually, it's a chastity belt thing, but really off kilter with 7 dicks on your head.
pleasure. Yeah. Like if you're a cuck, you would love this.
No, I can't have sex. Stay away from my dickheads.
It's like, I love this embarrassment. I'm getting off by it. But that is pretty much all I got.
That's what you got.
Wow.
Just
Don't celebrate like that.
no, I
It's
wasn't.
like, come on, man.
I wasn't.
What the fuck is the problem? Huh?
I wasn't doing that.
You're celebrating like, fuck, man.
It's not a lit.
Looking at my watch the whole
Wasn't
time.
like a.
I see you smiling out the corner of his eye.
No, I was.
Why you look at me when you said that?
I'm disappointed that it didn't end with like a
Why do you?
punchline.
That is the punchline. Your expectations were enough for me to deliver something.
That's like the new M. Night Shyamalan movie. The twist is there's not a twist.
Yes. I went missionary on this one.
I love missionary.
I love our full circles.
All right. Well, that was a good topic. That was kind of fun.
It wasn't, though. It was about torture and people dying from their own inventions.
I think it's funny. It's irony.
And the person, the
Isn't
one
it
that I wanted
ironic?
to do was the creator of COVID.
No,
Don't you
it's
19.
unfortunate.
Who?
The creator of COVID-19.
Jackie Chan.
Oh, don't do that.
The bat?
Charlie Chan.
Charlie Chan.
Charlie Chan.
Fucking Charlie Chan.
Isn't it ironic that most of the things that are in the song ironic are not ironic?
They're not
A little
ironic.
too ironic.
That's the irony. It
I
took
really
me
do think.
38 fucking years to realize
right?
that that's what the song ironic was about.
She's playing 4D chess on your ass.
Oh my god!
And she's
I realized that I had to
and
like
she's still upset about Dave Coulier.
slow clap.
That's a second Dave Coulier reference on this episode.
Remember that music
told-
video with Matt LeBlanc in it?
I told Tracy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but I remember it.
I told Tracy that when I finally realized that I was sitting on the couch and I looked at it, I go,
you're
"Oh
sitting on
my
the toilet."
god!" She's like, "What?" And I told her, and she's like, You're a grown ass man."
Everybody knew.
And
Were you
just
watching that
got
video
that.
or hearing that song, or were we just literally out of nowhere?
Someone said something, and I was like, "Holy shit!" She's like, "What happened?" And I'm like, "Okay, hear me out." Thinking like I just fucking figured out the codex of the world, and
I'm
she's
actually-
like, "No, you're just really slow."
This is kind of a
Shut up, bitch!
a tag on to that. Like I've kind of been engaging in a lot more online conversations
Congratulations.
where I shouldn't have, but yeah, I'm in the process of creating another like IG account for something critically thinking.
I have an IG account.
I know we got it,
Plug it.
Lonnie.
My name.
Mine's J. Marshall Law, I think.
Lonnie
Or the
Elderstein?
Marshall Law. I don't
You
remember
can
what
see
my Instagram
pictures of
is.
my breakfast.
Nice.
And fishing stuff.
Pre
Fishing
or
stuff.
Post.
My whole name.
Breakfast.
Pre-digestion.
Pre-digestion.
Yes.
Okay.
Pre-digestion. If you enjoyed this podcast, well, that's not all. Stay tuned next week for the continuation of this episode, whenever these things come out. Shalom.